Hello friends, you are most welcome to your own YouTube classes. Let's learn. So in this video I am going to start a new topic of class 11 standard physics, which is laws of motion. It is very much important for your board and joint entrance exam preparation. Okay, so guys, let's start it. So before we start our chapter, first we will learn about the force. So I think we all have idea about force. I'll give you a small overview. Suppose I have a box here, okay, and I want to take this box from here to here. It means I want to change the location, the position of the box. So I have to push it. If I don't push the box, or if I don't apply the force on the box, then the box will not move from here to here. It means my force is needed to change the location of this box. Okay, so it is the first law of Newton, or first law of motion. Force is the reason of motion. Means if we don't apply the force, then we cannot change the motion of any object. If any object is at rest, then it will be always in rest if we don't apply any force. You can understand this with this example also. If I don't apply force on this box, it will not move from here to here. Means I have to apply force to give the box a motion. Now we will learn about the second law of Newton. It says change of momentum with respect to time is proportional to unbalanced force applied to it. Now what is this unbalanced force means? Okay, let me make you understand by this example. Here I can give you an example of a box. Okay, it is my box. Suppose you are pulling, or you are applying force on this box in this direction. You are applying 5 Newton force. Okay, same force 5 Newton is applied by your friend to the opposite direction. Then what will happen? The box will not move to any direction. Okay, I repeat again. Here is a box. You are pulling or applying force 5 Newton to the box to this direction, and your force is applying same force in opposite direction. Then this box will not move. Okay, so actually what happened in this case, the net force or the resultant force equal to 0. Why 0? Because 5 Newton in this direction, if it is positive, then the other 5 Newton which is applying opposite direction, suppose this direction is my positive. If I am considering this direction as positive, then the reverse direction I have to consider as negative. Why? Because we all know that force is a vector quantity. Now what is this vector quantity? Vector quantity means the quantity that must have a value and a direction to express. Only value is not sufficient to make this expression right. Okay, now suppose in this example, if you are pulling this ball by 5 Newton force, and your friend was pulling this box by applying not 5 Newton, by applying 3 Newton. Okay, then there will be a net resultant force in this direction. Okay, you can understand this. Now as per the second law I have mentioned, change of momentum with time is proportional to unbalanced force. Okay, now what is this momentum? It is a new term for us. Momentum, or P, is equal to mass into velocity, mv. We represent mass by m and velocity by v. Okay, so actually what happened, I give you the example. Okay, don't worry. Suppose I have an object here. This object is my A. Okay, The mass of this object is m. I can show it. The mass of this object is m. The initial velocity means the velocity that the object has at its starting point. It is the starting point. In starting point, the object has u initial velocity. Okay. Suppose for time t second, it has traveled some distance. Okay. And some force has been applied. Okay. So when it will reach here, its velocity will be changed. Suppose its final velocity equal to v. Okay. Now what did Newton say? Actually Newton had said change of momentum. Now why this term momentum came? We know momentum equal to mass into velocity, and in that example we have seen that the velocity is changing. First it was u, second it is v. If velocity is changing, then momentum will also change. Why? Because momentum equal to mass into velocity. It's a product. So as Newton said, change of momentum with respect to time is proportional to the unbalanced force applied to it. Why unbalanced? Because the force is not unbalanced. If the force is balanced, means force will be zero, net force or the resultant force will be zero. So as Newton has said, the initial momentum P1 vector. Why vector? As I have mentioned earlier, vector quantity means the quantity that has a value and a direction. Okay. So P1 vector means initially momentum vector is equal to mass into velocity. Same u vector. Why vector? Because it has a value as well as a direction. Now as per Newton's second law, change of momentum means final momentum minus initial momentum with respect to time by t. mv vector minus mu vector divided by t is proportional to f, or you can say the same thing in reverse. F vector proportional to mv vector minus mu vector by t. It means force is proportional to change of momentum by time with respect to time. Okay. Now this thing v vector minus u vector by t, it comes our acceleration. If you know, acceleration equal to final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time. Okay. So in that case, instead of v minus u, v vector minus u vector by t, we can write a vector. Now what did that came? It came finally f vector proportional to mass into acceleration vector. You can introduce a proportional constant k, and you can find the value of k equal to 1. If you put mass equal to 1 kg, acceleration equal to 1 meter per second square, force equal to 1 Newton, then the value of k will be 1. Okay. So finally the equation came f vector equal to m into a vector. Now force is a vector quantity. It has value as well as direction. Mass is a scalar quantity. Acceleration is a vector quantity. Now we will see Newton's third law. Which is the Newton's third law mentioned each action has equal and opposite reaction. Opposite reaction. Okay. In that case, you can give so many examples. Suppose you give a punch to the wall. Okay, you hit it, you will get pain on your hand. Why this happens? This happens because you hit at the wall. It means you have applied some force to the wall. Now same amount of force will be applied by the wall on you as reaction. So Newton has mentioned each action has equal means its value will be equal, and opposite reaction. Opposite means the action and the reaction are opposite direction to each other. Okay. Now I will show you another example. Let me zoom it. Here I have a gun. Okay, I have drawn the rough figure of a gun and a bullet. When we fire any bullet from the gun, what happens? The bullet goes forward direction and the and the gun comes in backward direction. Why this thing happens? This happens actually because of action reaction. Okay, you can also explain this thing with the help of law of conservation of momentum. Now what does law of conservation momentum say? It says the total momentum remains constant. Actually, before collision and after collision, the total momentum remains constant. I will teach you this theorem later after. Okay, so you can explain this thing by action reaction law as well as the law of conservation of momentum law. Okay, now we will move one new topic, inertia. Okay, so first we'll classify the inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. Now what does inertia mean? What is the basic definition or the basic property of inertia? The basic definition of inertia means it resists any change of motion. Inertia resists any change of motion. It means when you want to change your motion, suppose you are at rest and you want to move. Okay, so initially you were at rest and you want to move, so you want to change your motion, but inertia resists. Inertia does not allow you to change your motion like that. Okay, now we'll classify inertia of rest. What is this inertia of rest? I think we all have this common experience. Suppose it is one bus. Okay, when you stand on the bus, when you stand on a bus, the bus was initially at rest. Okay, when the bus suddenly starts its journey, we fall backside. Why this backside motion comes? This comes because of inertia of rest. There is some property, there is some phenomenon acting on you which does not allow you to move, to change your motion. As I have mentioned about inertia, so this is my inertia of rest. Now come to inertia of motion. Same thing. Suppose you are in a bus. Okay, the bus is moving. When the bus suddenly stops, what happens? I think we all have this experience. We go some front side. Okay, we go with a forward motion. We go with a forward velocity. Why does it happen? It happens because of inertia of motion. There is some property acting on you which does not allow you to change your motion. Okay, so initially you were at motion and now you want to stop, but inertia of motion resists your change of motion. I think it is clear. Third is our inertia of direction. Okay, this experience is very common to us. We all have traveled to any carved road. I have drawn here a carved road. Okay, I have tried to draw it. Suppose when the car is taking the turn, when any car takes the turn, then what happens? We have a tendency to fall towards that direction of curve, because here a new force generates centrifugal force. I will discuss this later, but just know this thing, that this happens due to inertia of direction. It resists your change of direction, means it does not allow you to change any direction. Like this curved road, you continuously change your direction, that is resisted by inertia of direction. So I think it is clear. So here I am introducing the momentum vector. As I have mentioned, that momentum is a vector, as it is the product of mass into velocity. Velocity is a vector. It has direction and magnitude. So P is also a vector. Okay. Now come to the next formula. We know that acceleration equal to dv dt. Okay. Means if we derivative the velocity vector with respect to time, we can get acceleration. Now I think you have a question on your mind. What is this ddt? So basically ddt is nothing but representation of slope. if you don't have any overview idea of slope or what does this ddt mean, so let me explain. Suppose I have a velocity versus time graph, and if I want to find the slope, let me zoom it. So this small triangle, very small interval, it comes del v height base del t. Okay, let me draw it here. It is my del v height del t base. So slope comes tan theta, height by base del v by del t. Now if these intervals are very small, means tends to 0, this time interval and velocity interval, if this is very small, it tends to 0, so I can represent this as dv dt. Clear? Okay, so I think you have got an overview of this derivative. Okay, now one new formula, f vector equal to dp vector dt. Actually f vector equal to ddt of p vector. This is actually the formula of Newton's second law. It is the vector form. Okay, what did Newton say? I have mentioned earlier. Just try to remember. Newton has said the change of momentum means dp. Okay, with respect to time interval means dp dt. Okay, change of momentum with respect to time is proportional to force. So F equal to dp dt. You can also derive the same thing from here. You can write F vector equal to d dt of, instead of p vector, instead of momentum vector, you can write what? You can write momentum vector equal to mass into velocity vector. So just write it here. Okay, I have written. So m is a constant multiplier, it comes outside. dv dt. Now this dv dt equal to acceleration. F vector equal to mass into acceleration vector. I have proved this earlier. You can derive the same thing by derivation method. Okay. Now if you guys have any problem regarding vector, as I have mentioned in this video so many times, I have mentioned a vector, v vector, I have mentioned p vector, f vector. What this vector actually signify? I think you have some doubt, some confusion regarding this. So don't worry, I will explain it here. I have drawn a very basic figure to make you understand about vector. Okay. See, let me represent acceleration vector. As I have mentioned that a vector has a magnitude as well as direction. Now talking about direction, this direction may be x-axis, maybe y-axis, maybe our z-axis. So basically I am dealing with a 3D figure. Okay, x, y, z. So as I am dealing with a 3D figure, it will have three components. This acceleration vector will have three components in x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Okay, let me consider these components are, I have drawn this thing. I have drawn the same thing here also. Let me consider this component, the component of a vector along x-axis is a1. Same. The component of a vector along y-axis, it is a2. The component of a3 along z-axis, it is a3. Okay. Now a1, a2, a3, these are values. These are values of the component in x, y and z axis. Now this is a vector. Only values are not sufficient. So we need direction. Okay. So to make understand, now we will introduce these three terms: I cap, j cap and k cap. What does this I cap, j cap, k cap signify? This signify, I cap signify unit vector. What does it signify? Unit vector along x-axis. J vector signify unit vector along y-axis. K vector signify unit vector along z-axis. So if I am writing here a vector equal to a1 I cap plus a2 j cap plus a3 k cap, so you have to understand that I cap means x-axis component, means along x-axis the value of component is a1, along y-axis the value of component is a2, along z-axis the value of component is a3. Okay, so I think it is clear. I think it is clear to all of you. You can similarly write this also: a vector, b vector, f vector by the components of x, y, and z axis. Okay, a1, a2, a3. Okay, so I think you have understand. Now in this chapter you have to solve so many numerical questions. Okay, and to solve these numerical questions you have to use two things. You have to use derivative and integration formulas, basic formulas and basic concepts. Okay, but you will have these chapters in mathematics, so I am giving you a very small overview related to integration. Okay, what does this integration signify, how does it come? Because numerical solving is very much important for your board level preparation as well as your joint level exam preparation. Got it? Okay, so if I am talking about integration, integration means how to find the area. Suppose here I have drawn a velocity versus time graph. You can see this. So here in this velocity versus time graph, the area. Okay. Always remember, from any graph, two things are very important. First one is area, second one is slope. First one is area, second one is slope. These two things represent something in the graph. Okay. For example, in the velocity versus time graph, the area represents the distance, means how much distance you have traveled. Now, so to understand to find the distance, you have to find the area from velocity versus time graph. Now how can you do it? As this is not a regular figure, this is not a rectangle, this is not a circle, this is not a triangle, you cannot apply any direct formula here. In that case you have to take help of integration. Clear? So I have taken a very small strip here. Suppose this interval, let me zoom it. Suppose this interval is very much small. Okay, it is del t, very much small. You can also represent by dt. Clear? And in respect to this value, the value of velocity equal to ft. Why ft? Because as you can see from this graph, if we change the value of time, then our velocity changes. Means velocity changes with time. Velocity is a function of time. Okay, this is the concept of mathematics actually, but I am showing it. So here if I consider a very small strip, I can get a rectangle here. So from rectangle you can find the area, it is ft dt, and you can find similar strips from here to here of infinite number. Okay, so this infinite number strips areas you have to find, you have to sum this. This summation process is known as our integration method. Clear? So area basically comes integration 0 to t ft dt. Now what is the 0 to t? This is my lower limit 0 and this is my upper limit t. It means from where did I start? I started from 0, and from where did I start? I started from t. Clear? Okay. Now I have given a question, a numerical question to solve. Okay, so you can take a screenshot of my question and try to solve this at home. Later you can see my next portion video. I am solving it here, but you can try first. Okay, so slope, the question I am reading first. The slope of velocity versus time graph means del v dt or dv dt equal to acceleration. I know this. This is not a part of question. I am very much sorry. So the question starts from here. If the velocity is given by v equal to 2t square plus 4t plus t, as I have mentioned earlier, that velocity is a function of time, and this function is given in the question. Velocity equal to 2t square plus 4t plus 1. Clear? In question I have been asked what is the acceleration and distance at t equal to 1. What is the acceleration and distance at t equal to 1 second? I have been given velocity function and I have to find the acceleration and distance at t equal to 1. So I think all of you have done this. Now let's do the solution. For those who cannot answer this, v equal to 2t square plus 4t plus 1, I will simply derivativist. If I derivative the velocity function with respect to time, I can get acceleration. So just derivative is v equal to ddt of velocity. Now ddt of t square, if 2 is a constant multiplier, 2 comes outside, same 4 comes outside. Now the derivative of constant term is always 0. Okay, so I think all of you know this. And here I will apply this formula I have written also. You can make a screenshot of this formula. ddx of x to the power n equal to n into x to the power n minus 1. Okay, using this formula, as power is 2, 2 comes outside, t to the power 2 minus 1. Okay, similarly 4 into 1. Now simply calculation, it came 40 plus 4. Now just put the value t equal to 1. So our acceleration came 4 into 1 plus 4, that is 8 meter per second square. 8 meter per second square. Now I have to find the distance. How to find the distance? Distance equal to velocity into time. So put the velocity here, 2t square plus 40 plus 1 into time. What does it came? It came 2t cube plus 40 square plus t. Put t equal to 1 here in this equation. The final result came after calculation 7 meter. Okay. So I think it is clear to all of you. So if you have any problem regarding this, you can tell me in the YouTube comment section, and I will also provide the official email ID of our channel Let's Learn in my description box. I will also provide the PDF of the lesson I have done today in my description box. You can download this and start this. Any problem regarding this, you can contact to us. Okay. So if you think this video is beneficial for you, then please like, comment, share with your brother, sister and friend circle. Okay, share it maximum as possible. And the most important thing, support our channel Let's Learn, because we are all of us, the educators and the editors, we all are trying our level best to make some valuable, precious videos, educational videos regarding to class 9 to class 11, 12 up to joint entrance exam preparation for your welfare. Okay, so please support our channel. Thank you very much guys for watching our video. Thank you very much.